communicate through, at least for now, through standard email formats, just given that I don't know that we know enough about how those formats work with Facebook. But that doesn't mean attorney communications on Facebook can't happen in any form. I mean, obviously, a lot of attorneys are active on Facebook. I will, and I'll talk a little bit more about this later, but I mean, it's, again, it depends on what the types of communications are that you're doing on Facebook. So the question is it more of a billboard, one-way advertising, or are you really communicating stuff about yourself and your interests and the like? And that's really where, you know, the question of are you using social media effectively or are you using it as a billboard starts to define whether it's going to be subject to the attorney advertising rules or not. And there's a question about how borderline is it to tweet the disposition of a case. I'm going to get to this in a little bit, so let me put that one off for now. I want to point out as well, there's other platforms as well. There's obviously LinkedIn, which is more of a posting your resume and your bios and the like, but I mean, to what extent does LinkedIn apply? Do the attorney advertising rules apply to LinkedIn? Or to Avvo itself. With Avvo profiles, again, it's very much a lot of biographical information. Here's a guy, Rob McKenna, our former Attorney General, just unsuccessfully ran for governor, so he's going to be looking for a job. So to what extent does his Avvo profile need to comply with the attorney advertising rules? So let's put this in the right context then. We talked about how the fundamental Rule 7.1 deals with communication, and it's really important when you think about that. I mean, we look at that statute in a vacuum and you say, geez, you know, any communication about a lawyer or a lawyer's services, that could apply to just about anything. But it's really critical to put it into the right constitutional parameters, because at the end of the day, even though we're licensed as attorneys, there is a limit to how far the bar can go in regulating the content of our communications. Okay, very, very important concept. And it's around commercial speech. So when you think about the attorney advertising rules, what they apply to is the context of commercial speech. That's really the only place in which they apply. And if the communication that you're concerned about is not commercial speech, then the attorney advertising rules don't apply. And someone just asked a question, I guess the Free Speech Amendment does not apply to lawyers. Is that right? No, that's not right. What my point is, the bar can only regulate attorneys when it comes to their advertising. So any advertising in all sorts of industries can be regulated, but it has to